After the children leave for school, your mother sits down to write a letter. There's a pile of bills on the table, and she carefully folds each sheet, addressing it to her sister in Liverpool. She writes about the rain, the neighbor's gossip, and the new television show she's watching. She writes about everything except the lump in her breast, the one she hasn't told anyone about yet. Life was simpler then, wasn't it? No one knew how to reach you, so you could be alone with your thoughts. No one saw your tears or heard your hopes. You could walk barefoot through the grass without being photographed and sent around the world in a matter of seconds. There were no social media influencers or paparazzi. If you wanted to be famous, you had to do something extraordinary. The post-war generation lived through rationing and deprivation, so they cherished every comfort that came their way. For some, life in 1961 meant having a warm home, enough food on the table, and a new pair of shoes. They say that the older you get, the more you understand what really matters. Back then, people had a sense of community. Neighbors helped each other, shared tools, and kept an eye on each other's houses when someone went on holiday. Life moved slowly and steadily, and happiness was found in the simple things. When a neighbor invited you in for a cup of tea, you knew it wasn't just about the tea. It was about spending time with another human being. Back then, people weren't afraid of silence, they enjoyed it. They didn't need to fill every moment with noise or distractions. They sat by the fire, listened to the rain, and talked about their day, and somehow it made them happier. Do you remember those days? The ones filled with long walks, tree climbing, and endless games of hide and seek. Remember the taste of an ice cream on a summer's day, the smell of freshly cut grass, and the sound of your laughter echoing in the streets. Those were the days, weren't they? The days before the world got too complicated. Some of you might think that those were boring times, but let me tell you a secret. They weren't. Sure, there was no internet or mobile phones, but there was something else. There was imagination. We used to spend hours building worlds out of cardboard boxes, old sheets, and wooden planks. We created adventures in the attic, under the stairs, and behind the shed. Our toys didn't have batteries or Wi-Fi, but they had us. We gave them life with our stories, our voices, and our love. We built friendships that lasted longer than some marriages today, because they were based not on convenience or mutual benefit, but on loyalty, trust, and shared experiences. Do you remember the thrill of staying up late to watch the stars? We would lie on our backs, pointing out constellations and making wishes upon falling stars. We didn't need Netflix or video games, because the night sky was our entertainment. We explored the world through books, our imaginations, and our five senses. We tasted exotic fruits for the first time, heard stories from travelers, and marveled at the wonders of the world through documentaries. We've all grown up now, haven't we? Some of us still live in that small British town. Others have moved to bigger cities, some to London, some abroad. Some of us have become parents ourselves, bringing up our children with the same values and traditions that were taught to us. We tell our children about the good old days, but sometimes they don't understand. How can life be good without iPhones, PlayStations, and fast internet? But that's okay. Not every story is meant to be understood by everyone. Some are meant to be cherished by a select few who lived them, because life in 1961 was more than just simple, it was genuine. We didn't have all the development and technology of today, but we had something better. We had each other. At midday, the family sits together for lunch. The table is simple but full of love. Maybe today it's shepherd's pie, maybe a roast with gravy. The Yorkshire puddings are golden, the carrots are crisp, and the potatoes are fluffy. Dad pours the gravy, his hand steady and sure. Mum passes the salt and pepper, her smile warm and bright. Everyone says please, and thank you. And for a moment, the world outside this kitchen doesn't exist. This meal feels like the heart of the week, maybe even the heart of their lives. In the evenings, after the work week's end, neighbors lean over the fence to chat about the weather or last night's episode of Coronation Street. The kettle sings on the stove, steam curling up like a happy ghost. They talk about nothing and everything, their voices mingling with the scent of frying bacon and brewing tea. Children's laughter drifts from the park down the road, a melody as sweet as birdsong. Inside, the house settles into the quiet joy of family. Games of Monopoly or Scrabble unfold on the living room carpet, punctuated by bursts of giggles and groans. Someone wins, someone loses, but the love that binds them remains constant. It's a time when people took pride in everything, polishing the brass door knocker until it gleamed like a beacon, folding fresh laundry, keeping the front steps swept clean. It was a time when handshakes were promises and cups of tea could mend almost anything. Do you remember when the ice cream van would play its cheerful tune, and every child would run out with a shiny sixpence, hoping it would buy one precious scoop of sweet summertime? Or when your family got your first television, and you watched in wonder as the images flickered to life, bringing moving pictures and a world of adventure into your home? Every moment felt like magic. This was a time when love was written in letters sealed with hope, delivered by hand across town or sent by sea across the world. When people danced together in the village hall to songs that felt like they were written just for them, the stars twinkled in the velvety sky, the music swelled, and in that moment, the world was perfect. When children only came home when the streetlights turned on, their cheeks pink from hours of fresh air and play, their laughter echoing through the twilight. If this story touches your heart, please share your memories in the comments. Tell us about your favorite toy, your first job, or the moment you felt truly British. And if you'd like your own story made with your name, just leave it below. I promise to honor every memory. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe, like, and tap the bell icon, so you never miss another trip back in time. And tell me in the comments which decade do you remember most fondly, the 1950s, 60s or 70s. It would mean a lot to me if you did. It helps bring these stories to more people who love history as much as we do. Thank you for listening and for keeping these memories alive. And now it's time to close this chapter in our story. So let's take a moment to appreciate the moments that made this era so special. The kindness, the community, the innocence. These are the threads that wove the fabric of a time when life was simpler, slower, and somehow richer. Do you have a cherished memory from this time period that you'd like to share? Perhaps a nostalgic tale of your childhood, a heartwarming moment with loved ones, or a fond recollection of days gone by. Please share your stories in the comments below. Your words have the power to transport us all back in time and create a shared tapestry of remembrance. Together, let us keep these precious memories alive and ensure that the spirit of bygone eras continues to inspire and unite us. Thank you for joining me on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this story, please show your support. And until next time, goodbye.